When the launch trailer for a game gets 32 million views, you start paying attention. That's why I was shocked when I ran across the announcement trailer for Hytale nearly a month after it was first uploaded to YouTube. My name is Kodiak, and on the horizon today is Hytale. So before we dive in, let's just play a few seconds of the trailer for you watchers that may not have seen it before. For me, there is one word that comes to mind, and no, it's not Minecraft, that'd be too obvious. It's adventure. When I watched the trailer for the first time, I was overcome with how much it looked and felt like an MMO. We're in such a weird place with massive multiplayer online games that Hytale may just scratch that itch for some players. But let's look at some of the facts before we blow this whole thing out of proportion. Hytale is being developed by Hypixel Studios, a new video game company that combines over 40 talented developers from around the world. Their aim is to take their extensive modding experience and transfer that into a community-oriented game that meets the needs of players and content creators alike. The team is supported by Riot Games, makers of League of Legends, as well as some high-profile individuals such as Anthony Barquez, Dennis Fong, Rob Pardo, Peter Levin, Jeff Lowe, and Min Kim. With such a talented shortlist of players interested in the game, it's no wonder there is already so much buzz about a relatively new project. But the truth is, Hypixel Studios is incredibly well known, and Hytale isn't exactly a new project. Hypixel started out as two guys making Minecraft maps. Hours turned into days, days into weeks, and weeks into months, and like any good creative project, people started to take notice. To date, the Hypixel server has more than 14 million players and has earned 4 Guinness World Records. So without looking further into the past, let's look to the future at what Hytale is going to be for the millions of players already waiting for the release. Hytale is a journey of adventure and creativity that's not only a sandbox game, but a role-playing title as well. Hytale will feature massive, procedurally generated worlds, rich with dungeons, towers, and monsters. But there is also a large focus on community and creation. Block-by-block building, scripting, and minigame creation will all be baked into the game and will be right at the fingertips of the players. For those role-playing fanatics like myself, there looks to be a lot here. As described on the game's website, as you traverse each generated landscape, you'll piece together the history of the world through handcrafted adventure scenarios. You might encounter a mage's tower overrun with monsters, descend into an underground cavern, or take on a colossal boss monster. With a wide variety of scenarios available at launch, no two adventures will be the same. Now, just based on that trailer alone, there is a lot to unpack. We see an archer getting ready to take on a horde of bugs, and a few seconds later, a player riding a ram charging a massive yeti. There's no doubt that fearsome foes lie ahead, and it's just a matter of how that ties into the larger game as a whole. Adventure mode will be fully playable in solo or co-op mode, and according to the developers, there are a ton of ways to forge your own path. Whether you describe yourself as a settler, adventurer, or craftsperson, there is plenty to do to advance your story. At the heart of every good story is a hero, and the Hytale team has taken no shortcuts to allowing you to have the hero of your dreams, with thousands of customizable items to help express yourself. As you explore the world, you have the opportunity to create a homestead in any of the biomes throughout the game. Settling down means growing your own crops, taking care of pets, taming mounts, even building your own boats and vehicles. Creativity is one of the 3 pillars of the game, so expect it to be a truly unique and immersive experience. The team has handed over their tools to the player and has promised that everything you can see, you can edit. That's a lofty claim, but one players would love to see become a reality. Creativity means giving players the tools to create, and here is where Hytale may be making one of the biggest promises of all. The game will feature dedicated and community servers, that's not the big deal. But the team is also giving players the keys to the castle in more than one way. Players will have the ability to model and animate new creations, new creatures never seen before in the world. The team has also added a host of cinematic tools that will allow players to create videos without working around the system. Create, save, and load scenes all using Hytale's models. You even have the ability to control keyframes right inside the game. Finally, the team opens up the game to player-based scripts that allow you to transform the world around you. Now, as someone that knows nothing about scripting, I can only imagine the creativity that comes from giving players this sort of control, and will wait in anticipation for the creation of smarter things by smarter people. So the promise of an incredible game is all there, but let's take a look at some of the features already revealed by Hypixel. First up, the user interface, such an important component to any RPG MMO fan. It's essential that they get this right if they hope to attract and retain serious MMO fans, because the UI is a large part of the experience. We get a glimpse of the character creation screen that features, at this point, 14 tabs of customizable options, including what we can only guess are body type, haircut, eyebrows, eyes, facial hair, shirts, coats, pants, shoes, gloves, hats, eye accessories, ear accessories, and expressions. Each item looks to have 28 color options, as well as an additional option that may allow players to isolate colors. Getting our first taste of the map reminds me a lot of a standard RPG, and that's a good thing. A nice clear legend on the left side points out things of interest, while dynamic markers on the map itself reveal information when moused over. This map in particular is from adventure mode, so there is no telling what happens to a map that's been customized by players, but the team assures us that there will be changes as the game develops. In the next image, we get a taste of the character screen, as well as some inventory and storage UI elements. There is a lot to be said for simplicity when it comes to a UI. The elements look clean, and it's pretty obvious that the weapon bench is a crafting area that, well, makes weapons. There looks to be a fairly easy to understand material system that allows you to craft various items, and I can only imagine every item on the screen would provide additional information if moused over. The team has also said easily digestible information is crucial to the game's success, and I couldn't agree more. As you can see in this tooltip concept image, the information is very easy to understand. This will allow for less time in menus, comparing gear, and more time creating and exploring. Finally, we get a pretty interesting crafting diagram concept, one that I haven't really seen before. I'm excited to explore a bit more of this concept as they refine their approach, but it's a fresh take on a largely outdated system. Next up, we have a few of the NPC or non-playable characters revealed by the Hypixel team. So far, we know of a few friendly and hostile creatures that we'll introduce you to now. Quebecs will become one of your earliest allies in the game. Their race lives a peaceful and meaningful life with a central focus on their life cycle. As the Quebecs age, they slow down and eventually stop moving altogether, becoming more like the trees they resemble. When an elderly Quebec adopts this new form, their seeds drop to the ground and form the basis of the next generation. It's quite a beautiful story, and one that I'm sure we will see play out in full when the game is released. Our first hostile force is the Trorks, which come in all shapes and sizes. Because of the modular nature of these enemies, you will have to pay attention to what type of Trork you're fighting. You could come up against one of many foes, such as the Sentry, Warrior, Chieftain, Hunter, or Shaman. Trorks are the perfect example of modular enemies and are the shining example of what you can expect when adventuring out in the wild. Animals will also play a massive role in Hytale. Whether it be a saber-toothed tiger or a little tiny chick, each animal will play its part in the world. The team wants animals to be a central focus of the interactive gameplay, but that doesn't just mean interacting with your character. Animals will have their own personality and drives. Saber-toothed tigers may hunt a pack of gazelles, while baby chicks will spend most of their time following close to their mother. Each animal will be unique, and the interaction even more so. There's no telling how many creatures will make it into the game, but we fully expect a host of fun and interactable creatures to discover. Now, for all you MMO and RPG fans out there, Hytale will also feature boss fights. Yes, you heard it right. Enemies such as the Void Spider will play a large part in the endgame experience in Hytale, and will present players with a much more difficult challenge that not only tests their ability to fight, but their ability to plan. Like any good boss fight, you'll have to learn how each monster operates and come up with a strategy to defeat each one. Personally, I'm very excited for this feature because boss fights are my jam. So we've talked about a lot already, but one of the biggest and most important features of the game is the world itself, and already the Hytale team has provided fans with a ton of information and images about the world we're all eagerly waiting to explore. We learn that the world we'll spend most of our time on is called Orbis and will feature at least 6 zones. At the moment, 4 of the zones are defined, while 2 are still shrouded in mystery. Each zone will have its own set of design rules that give each biome a unique and authentic feel. Each zone will seamlessly tie together biome elements. For example, in this image from Zone 1, you see forests, hills, lakes, ravines, and small points of interest, all tied together by features like ponds and rocky outcrops. Each zone will have its own set of blocks and distinct content, including furniture, NPC races, creatures, critters, plant life, weather, and geology. Each zone will feature unique coastal features as well, which ensure that no 2 zones feel the same. For those adventurous spirits that don't like to be confined by boundaries, rest assured that the team has thought of you too. Venture far enough away from the land, deep underwater, you'll discover the ocean shelf, a drop-off zone that leads to the deep ocean. The story won't take you out this far, but anyone daring enough to risk life and limb will find great treasure and even greater danger in the murky depths. Finally, the world generation applies to underground areas as well, including caves and dungeons. There are a few rules that guide the creation of each underground zone. For instance, caves are full of secrets and creatures to encounter and will be an important resource hub. Dungeons, on the other hand, are a little different. They'll be comprised of multiple chambers and encounters joined by connecting passageways, often culminating in a final room filled with challenges and treasures. While these prefabricated dungeons exist on Orbis, another type of dungeon lies just beyond a portal. These hand-designed dungeons will appear once you've met a certain criteria necessary to unlock them. They're governed by their own set of rules and terrain and will provide players with a unique challenge all their own. These portal dungeons will vary in size, difficulty, and scope, but already look beautiful. Finally, I wanted to end the video diving into some of the Q&A questions already answered by the Hypixel team in case you had any questions after watching this video. When is Hytale coming out? Right now, Hytale has no confirmed release date. The team has ramped up production and is confident that they can deliver on the promises they've made to players. What are the different ways that I can play Hytale? Hytale will focus on 3 main pillars: adventure mode, minigames, and creative tools. Each will be at the core of Hypixel's mission to deliver a game that's enjoyable, innovative, and accessible to fans. What platforms will Hytale be released on? Hytale will be released on PC and Mac, but the team is exploring the possibility of releasing the game on other platforms. Can players reserve usernames? Hytale will feature unique names, which means only one person can have any one given name. There will be a way to reserve names before the official launch. You'll just have to pay close attention to find out how. Will Hytale feature parental controls? Hytale will feature a comprehensive set of tools that allow account holders to limit access to online players and custom content. Is Hytale going to be free to play or paid? At the moment, the Hytale team is still finishing up their business model. More information will be forthcoming. Is there a beta test going on? Yes, players can sign up for a beta on the Hytale website now. How will PvP be handled in Hytale? The team only released short bits of PvP content during their announced trailer because they realized that the PvP community has a very high standard. The team is working with community leaders and is open to feedback before locking anything into development. PvP will be covered much more in future communications. So as you guys can see, there is a lot of moving pieces, but this game guru is confident that Hytale will leave an impression on the video game world. If you're excited for Hytale, be sure to give this video a thumbs up and consider joining the Game Gurus on Discord. You better believe I'll be exploring the world of Orbis for hours on end, and I would love to explore with some of you. For now, my name is Kodiak, and from everyone here at the Game Gurus, thanks for watching, and play on.